Hey everybody, my name's Ed. Quick haul video. I'll show you some of the comics I bought over the last couple of weeks, and we'll just jump into it. Okay, Foster's. Okay, so Thor #2. I was really impressed with #1. Really liked the art. Really liked the story. Very intriguing setup. So okay. Scarlet Witch #13. Sam Robinson or Joe Robinson, James Robinson. The artist for this issue is Jonathan Marks Ravavecchia, I guess. Um, so far, still enjoying the series. I was talking to the guy at the store. He was like, he thinks they're going to go up to maybe about issue 18, so they'll have maybe like 3 trades worth. So, but okay, yeah. Champions #3, Mark Wade and Humberto Ramos. All right, just fun kind of superhero. I think I mentioned before. It just kind of has that old fashioned superhero. We're out to do good deeds feel to it. So, all right. Apollo and Midnighter #3, Joe Orlando, and the artist by Fernando Blanco. All right. Dead Man Book 2, Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love. The first one I thought was interesting. So it's part Dead Man story, part Gothic romance. The writer is Sarah Vaughn, and the art is by Lan Medina. So, oh wait, what does it say? With Phil Hester, breakdowns on chapter 4, it says. So yeah, not super great, not super terrible. It's okay. So, all right, okay. Cyborg #6, written by John Simper Jr. and the artist by Will Conrad. I guess he hooks up with this character who's a new lady cyborg. Okay, all right. Okay, so maybe now after this issue, some fans will stop complaining about how the characters are unique or something. I don't know. Frostbite #3. It's not a super great comic, but it is interesting. The writing is by Joshua Williamson and the artist by Jason Sean Alexander. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm not sure how long it's going to go on, but I think I'll I'll definitely buy the whole first arc. So, yeah. Vigilante #2. Written by, let's see here. Written by Carrie Phillips, who I think writes crime novels, and the artist by Elena Casagrande. Okay, all right. Obviously a more street level type comic by the guy who has no powers. We'll save that. I got something to say about that, but we'll save it for another video. Black Widow #8 by Mark Waid and Chris Samney. And I think this comic is criminally overlooked. This is like one of the better comics coming out of Marvel these days, and I'm just shocked that it doesn't get more attention. Oh, I bought this purely on a whim. White Zombie, the illustrated story, and it's basically just kind of like the history of White Zombie. I bought this because I don't know how many people out there remember these things, but back in the here's the back cover. Back in the early 90s, there used to be these rock and roll comics that would have stories of various bands and like pop stars and stuff. And they were relatively popular for a moment. The guy who did it um, died, or actually he was killed, and his I think they never found the. I don't think the case was ever solved. But yeah, he they actually became kind of a hit. It was just like I said, the you would just make up the stories of Metallica or Guns N' Roses or Prince or whatever, and get amateur artists to draw the stories. I think what ended up happening is New Kids on the Block actually came after him, and after that he had to put a blurb on there saying 100% unauthorized. But of course, he turned that into kind of like a selling point for him. So um, I want to find. I know Stuart Immerman actually did some of those comics, so I want to find those issues. One of these days when I get the chance. I just previews, whatever. Just found its way in my bag. I didn't pay any attention to it. I just saw War Cry, and I thought, oh, this is some video game or something like this is World of Warcraft. No, it's it's something from the Salvation Army to tie into like Christmas. So yeah, okay, fine. Uh, Direct Currents. These are the DC previews. Okay, and here's some like back issues I got out of the 25-cent bin. So Claw the Unconquered #2, and the story is by David Michelini, and the art is by Ernie Chua, editor Joe Orlando. But I think Ernie Chua and Ernie Chan are the same guy. I think. I know Ernie Chan did inking for Marvel for a while, or actually right around the same time period. So I think it's one of those cases where you have an artist who's doing work for one company under one name, but using another name for another company. So, okay. Um, Knockout #1. I'm not going to make a super big deal out of this, but the premise of this comic is kind of a tongue-in-cheek, campy spy story. The main character is this female here who's biracial, and her sidekick is is a gay man, and the writer it's right here. Rob Roddy is a gay man himself. This comic came out in 2001. I'm only bringing it up just because when all these, the talk about this agenda is being pushed and that agenda is being pushed, and Marvel's so super progressive and DC stuck in the past, it's like none of this stuff is new. You know what I mean? You know, it's not this weird stuff that's just happening in comics all of a sudden in the last 2 or 3 years. But whatever. Oh God, children's. Ooh, this cover's torn a little bit. I don't know. Oh well, it's only a quarter, so I'm not. I don't care. But Children's Crusade #1 from Vertigo. Children's Crusade #2. Okay, so I got the whole story at least. Roaring Rick's Rare Bit Fiends, which is a comic that Rick Veitch did about his strange dreams he would be having. Black Orchid #7. And Catwoman #8. Is Ed Brubaker, and the art here, I don't think the art is by Darren Cook though. The art is by Brad Rader. But it very much has that kind of semi-cartoony, semi-Darren Cook feel to it. So yeah. Okay, so that's it. I gotta thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try to see if I can get another video up over the next few days or so, depending on how much time I have. And yeah, and that's it. Thanks a lot. You have a great day.